Hello, my name is Caleb. I'm with LionSpark Computers, and today I'm going to show you some really simple ways to speed up your computer. Now, computers slow down over time, and I'm going to give you 7 easy ways that you can speed up your system. So if you right-click on your task manager and go to Start Task, excuse me, if you right-click on Taskbar and go to Start Task Manager, it's going to open up Task Manager. So it might open up on any one of these windows depending on which one you had open last. This is one of the first things that I'll check as a tech going down to a computer when someone's complaining that it's slow. So the first thing I'm going to check is how many windows does the person have open. Do they have 500 windows open, or is it just 1 or 2? The next thing I'm going to check is what is using the most memory. How much memory am I actually using? You notice here I'm at 83% of physical memory or RAM and 60% of CPU. So I'm using pretty high. I have a lot of windows open right now. And if my computer was running slow, this would be where I would be starting. I'd be closing some windows to get myself down to 50% of each CPU and RAM. Here's another graphic that you can just check and get a visual representation of what you're actually using. And again, on the application tab, it's going to show you the windows you have open. So the way that you can kill processes in this is you just go to the process, right-click on it, and end process. If you're in the application window and you have something open, you can right-click on the application and select Go to Process, and it'll take you to the process that's actually running the application. So if you go End Process here, then that will shut down the application. The next thing I'm going to show you is msconfig. So if you go to Start and you type in msconfig, it'll bring up msconfig.exe. Another way you can do it if you're on another version of Windows is you can hit the Windows key and type Windows key and R. Will bring up the Run window. Or you just go to Start and Run in Windows XP, and then you would type in msconfig again, and it'll bring up the same window. So once you have this open, you go over to the Startup window, and this is going to show you all the programs that are starting up in Windows when you boot your computer. So there's different reasons that these start up. Sometimes it's for updates, sometimes it's just because the program wants to run, sometimes it's malware. But anyway, not to freak you out or anything, but that is the case sometimes. So what you're going to do is go through this and decide which ones you want to keep open. So I have backups running on my computer, so I'm not going to close down ArcServe. Java Auto Updater, I'm going to keep that open because there's some exploits that come down from the internet through Java. My D-Link webcam, I'll probably shut that down. EasyPrint, I'm going to shut that down. Office 2010, that can go away. Same with Google, same with Steam. I'm not too sure what this one is. But anyway, you can't hurt anything with your computer by shutting things off. It's not going to make your computer not boot. Windows doesn't need anything in here to boot the system. So it's actually a good way to troubleshoot if you're having problems, to turn everything off and then one at a time boot your computer by starting up one service at a time until your computer breaks again, and then you know which service is the problem. So I'm just going to go through this and turn off the things that I know I don't need. And then I'm going to click Apply and OK. And then I'll get this window. You may need to restart your computer for all these to apply. So I'm going to go Exit without Restart because I don't need to restart right now. When you do restart, you're going to get a window that pops up. And if you look at my Stop applications from starting when you boot your computer video, you'll see the window that pops up. So another thing we're going to check is disk space. So if you go to Start and Computer and you right-click on your C drive or D drive or whichever drives you have here, the hard disks are the ones that I'm talking about, not the CD-ROMs, but click on Properties, and then you'll see how much space you have used and how much you have left. So in this I have 103 gigabytes left, 175 used, so I'm well over the 14% that I need free for my system to run properly. Generally, anything that goes below 20% with our clients, we make sure we're freeing up disk space immediately. Because if your C drive gets filled right up, that can bring down a system, and with a server, that's a catastrophe, really. So another thing that we're going to check for is old printers. Old printers will cause your system to run really slow if they're not connected. So I'm just going to open this up to my printers, and this always takes forever on my system. And we can see that all my printers are connected. If they're not connected, they're going to be grayed out. And if they're grayed out, that's not the end of the world, especially if you're using a laptop and you're going somewhere and you have a printer at home. But if it's a printer that you're never going to use again, just delete it. You can always install it later if you need to, but if it's gone for a significant amount of time, I can't remember the exact amount, it's going to start slowing down your computer because Windows is always going to be searching for it and it's never going to find it. And one more thing you can check for is dead shortcuts on your desktop. So if you're used to connecting to network drives where you have a shortcut to a network drive and you aren't connected to that network for quite a while, or even at all, you're not connected to that network, Windows will come in and prompt and look for shortcuts and look for the path to complete them. And if it doesn't find them, it's going to hang up and be really slow and grumpy for a little while. So if you have dead shortcuts, you want to make sure you get rid of those. I like to have as little shortcuts on my desktop as possible. Usually it's only what I'm working on immediately at the moment. Another thing that you can do is defrag your computer. So I actually made a video on defragging your computer. And so if you go to Start, All Programs, Accessories, System Tools, and then Disk Defragmenter, that'll open this window up. You can configure a schedule. So we can see that mine was last run on May 29th, which is about 11 or 12 days ago. You can configure a schedule. You can just defragment your disk right now. It's not going to be the pretty red and blue squares like it used to be, though, with Windows XP. On Windows 7 this has changed, but just trust me, it's still defragmenting and it still does help significantly, actually. And the last thing I'm going to point out, if you are having troubles, is you may need to run Malwarebytes. Or you might have malware on your computer. It's not uncommon. I've had it on my machine before. It's not the end of the world. So if you go to I'm just going to wait for my system to catch up. There we go. Go to malware. There we go. I have no idea why. Oh, there we go. Go to malwarebytes.org. And you can go to the free download. And I'm just going to wait for that to come up. I don't know why my internet's so slow today. Maybe I should run some diagnostics. So anyway, it's bringing me to CNET, and then I'm just going to click Download Now. I already have Malwarebytes installed, so I'm not going to download and install it. And I've actually already done a video on that too. But if you go to your Start menu, type in MAL, it'll bring up Malwarebytes, or you can search through your All Programs menu. Open Malwarebytes. It's going to tell you it's out of date probably, and update, and then just run a QuickTime scan. So straight out of the creator of Malwarebytes' mouth or fingers, he didn't ask me anything on Reddit. And people asked if there was any difference between the full scan and the quick scan, and he said no. And the only reason that it's there is to make people happy that their computer has been thoroughly scanned. But in reality, the quick scan is good enough, and it's about 10 times faster. So you're looking at 15 minutes as opposed to 4 hours for a scan. So that is all I'm going to show you right now. I hope this helps you speed up your computer. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave comments and like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching.